Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to give you a rundown of the final project of the fiction unit, which I'm hoping you're going to enjoy. It's going to be a challenging one. There's going to be a lot there, but I'm going to give you a lot of time to complete it. And of all the lessons that we're going to do, if you're really serious about fiction writing, this is definitely the one that you're going to get the most out of because it's the step between you and getting published. So, as I alluded to before, your final project for this unit is going to be to basically approach literary agents. So at this point, your last assignment was to create two novel outlines, to imagine two different novels based on these great characters or this great character that you developed, that you could develop character-driven fiction around. And so you've got a novel outline for two different books set in two different universes. So here's basically what I'm going to get you to do. You're going to choose one that you could turn into a piece of commercial fiction and another one that you would turn into a piece of literary fiction. All right? So it's fairly straightforward. I mean, it's more complicated if you're actually going to do this. Like to write a novel is a pretty complicated thing. But for the purposes of this assignment, basically, one of them you have to imagine tailoring it so that it's going to appeal to a particular target audience, right? So like that good example that I referenced before, was referenced in one of the videos, a novel tailored, a novel that includes a mermaid protagonist is only going to sell 1/10 of what a vampire protagonist would because the market demand for fiction written about vampires is 10 times more than what's written about mermaids, right? So it's going to involve, if you want to get a really good mark on this, a little bit of research to find out, what should my target audience be for this particular novel set in this particular universe. How would I market it? Who would I market this to? That sort of thing, right? So that's for the commercial part of it. The literary part is much more simple. Basically, what you need to do is to think like a poet a little bit and think about like what theme could I like impose upon this novel or like encode into this novel. What great idea do I have that I'd be able to sort of like convey here? The whole idea of adding to the conversation of existence, right? Because for a literary piece, you want it to have meaning. For a commercial piece, you want it to have marketability. And of course, this is something that a few people seem to, if you think in extremes, a few people seem to mistake from the lesson on commercial versus literary fiction. It's not the case that like you only have one or the other. You have both, right? So a piece of commercial fiction can have meaning, and a piece of literary fiction can certainly have like market appeal. It's just like, what is your primary goal, right? As author, if your primary goal is to create meaning and to create a work of art, then you're creating literary fiction. If your primary goal is to generate money and to become famous, then you're going to be creating commercial fiction. So now you end up with two pieces of work to market. You've got a piece of literary fiction and a piece of commercial fiction. You need agents who are going to represent you. So I've provided you with a link to the Writer's Digest page with new agents. And that page, if you go to the bottom of it, there's links to older posts, and it'll go on like pretty much forever, like at least as like far as Writer's Digest had this feature, which I've never gone to the very end of it, so there's a lot of agents there. And what you're going to do is you're just going to like scroll through it and find the right agent for your book. So depending on what the agents are looking for, they may or may not be the person for the job. So if I've got a piece of commercial fiction that I want to write, and my protagonist is a teenager, then what I might be doing is I might be looking for somebody who specializes in young adult fiction, because if I've got a young adult as a protagonist, that's certainly going to be like a benefit with this agent, right? They're going to be interested. Or if I've chosen one of the universes that are obviously high fantasy, right? Then I'm going to be looking for an agent who they're interested in high fantasy, or some agents are looking for specifically like a type of voice, like looking for strong female voices is one that I've often seen when I was flipping through or scrolling through and looking at these different agents, or whatever it is that they're looking for. You have to think about what you have, and is this agent looking for that? All right, are they a good match? And so when you finally decide on an agent, you find the agent that it's going to be a good fit, you're going to do two things. You're going to write a quick response paragraph to me showing me like who the agent is and like what the link is to get to their page. So as you're going through the Writer's Digest website, it's got like the main page that's got like just like the menu of the different agents. Then when you click on the agent's name, it sort of gives you more information about them plus what their submission requirements are. So that's what I wanted, is a link directly to there so that I can see that you've given the agent what they asked for. And then just like a quick, like a concise, not a very quick, but a concise, smart, clear explanation as to why you chose this agent. So what I'm looking for is, did you actually put some thought into choosing the agent, or did you just click on like the first one you got to and they're looking for commercial fiction? You're like, sure, that's good enough for me, and then I'm going to submit. Because if you were a real writer and that was your method, you'd probably burn a lot of bridges that way by just like sending off like bad queries to people, if you send off a bad query, I don't know if agents can do this, if they can like block further emails from a writer, but I can see where they could probably do that very quickly, put that into their spam filter, and just like they won't receive any more emails from you, or maybe like the whole agency won't receive any more emails from you if you send in like a query that didn't make any sense, right? It's like clearly shows that you weren't paying attention to what they're looking for, you're wasting their time. I don't know. But I want to see that you're not doing that you actually like went through, found the right agent for the job, and queried that particular agent. So you've got your response paragraph, and then the other thing you're going to submit is everything that they're looking for. Now, here's where this assignment is a bit different than other assignments. So different agents are looking for different things, and some agents are looking for more things than others. So I was thinking like, it wouldn't be very fair if I've got a student who's submitted to an agent who's looking for a query letter, the first 10 pages of the novel, and a full synopsis of the novel, and maybe like a resume, right? A writing resume. So this agent is looking for 4 things. Another agent is just looking for a query letter, and then if they're interested, then they'll ask you to send in stuff later on. And so one person's doing 4 times the work of the other. So I thought how am I going to make this fair? Well, the answer is pretty simple. I'm going to assign individual grades for every individual thing that you submit to the literary agent. So if you're looking to earn more marks, to boost your mark for the fiction unit, then the more things that you submit, the more great things you submit, the more marks you're going to earn. So basically, the weighting of the assignment will depend on how much stuff the agent is looking for. Now remember, you're going to be submitting to 2 different agents. So maybe if you're looking for like a good balance, you'll submit to one agent who's looking for 3 different things, and the other one who's just looking for one thing, right? So you'll get like a good balance, like an easy one and a difficult one. But if you're looking to earn a lot of marks, then look for agents who are looking for more things, because that way you'll be able to submit more to that particular agent. Now, don't submit things to the agent that they're not looking for, because that's part of this assignment. You don't want to send something to an agent if they didn't ask for it, because it's bad etiquette, right? It shows that you weren't paying attention. It might tell them that you didn't actually even look at their submission requirements. You're just going through and just sending like a generic package to every agent you come across, just taking the shotgun approach, hoping that if you fire off enough query letters, somebody will return. So you don't want to do that. So again, look carefully and shop around. Find the agent that's right for you. They're looking for your type of fiction, and the requirements they have are it's the right level of difficulty for you. So in the end, you've got 2 folders. So I made 2 submission folders, one for the commercial submission, one for the literary submission. And for each folder, you're going to submit a response paragraph. And each folder, you're going to submit a document that's, or within that same document, if you want to put it all together, you're going to submit everything that they've asked for. I'm assuming every agent's going to ask you for a query letter, and in some cases they're going to tell you what they want in it. In some cases they're not. I've got something there for you, a resource for you that you can use to find out, the do's and don'ts of good query letters. In some cases, they're going to ask for a synopsis of the novel. So basically, the synopsis is kind of like a summary, just an overview of it. And you've already done an outline and a summary paragraph, so you've got more than enough stuff to sort of get started on that. Your synopsis is a little bit different than that. It's almost like making like a sales pitch or like a report. So I've got like a resource for you there. But it shouldn't be a whole lot of work to put together like a good synopsis from your novel outline and your summary paragraph. And a lot of agents are going to look for a certain amount of writing. So they might say, send me the first chapter, or send me the first 2 chapters, or send me the first 10 pages, or the first, I don't know, however many pages. With some agents, it's send me the first 3 pages. Some might even say, send me the whole manuscript. That's very rare, but they might. But in any case, regardless of how much they ask you to send, I just need you to send 1 page, like 1 page of document text, size 12 font, a standard document. So if you feel like doing a little bit of writing, you actually, maybe you're passionate about this particular work and you want to do a little bit of fiction writing, because so far I've only had you do 1 piece of flash fiction. Well, this is your chance to do some more fiction writing. And by all means, and it doesn't even have to be from the very beginning of the novel, it could be just 1 page from anywhere. So maybe you're the type of person who would start at the climax of the novel and work themselves backwards, right? Or maybe there's just 1 particular scene that you would really like, or 1 sequence you'd really like to write out. You could start there. Basically just a sample of your writing, okay? So I'm going to create success criteria for all those things so that you can see, exactly what a level 3 would look like, and as always, exceed level 3 in order to earn level 4. And that's the end of my school day. All right, so I'm in the middle of putting this together. It should be up fairly shortly, and by the time I post this tomorrow morning, or maybe by the end of today, the assignment should be there, and like I said, you'll have lots of time to work on it.